Welcome back to Startup Street. Every parent knows the drill. Buy a new pair of shoes and a few months later, the child's feet have already outgrown them. But Aretto is betting that the shoe, not the child, should adapt. Built around a patented expandable sole technology, the startup has sold over 4 lakh pairs, crossed 60 crore rupees in annual recurring revenue, and is now expanding its omni-channel footprint after backing from Peak 15 Surge and Veltis Capital. Joining me now is Satyajit Mittal, the founder and CEO of Aretto. Satyajit, welcome to Startup Street. The insight behind Aretto is deceptively simple. Children's feet grow, but shoes don't. And why did it take so long for someone to rethink something as fundamental as footwear? If you could explain how your patented expandable sole technology actually works and what has customer adoption looked like so far?
Thank you. Firstly, thank you so much. And I think honestly, what I want to start with is I don't think the industry was looking to solve this problem because they just thought this is the way it is meant to be. Kids have largely been shrunk down versions of adult shoes, right? And but it is something that footwear has always been based on look, price, comfort, but technology has never reached kid shoes, right? And it's a huge miss because we have given stagnant shoes for something which grows every day, and the kids' feet are growing every single day, but shoes are in fixed sizes. So we just looked at that question, and as a brand and as a philosophy, we question everything, right? And we question the norm, and we started saying, can we make a shoe that actually grows 3 sizes with a wearer's feet? So we set out on a mission to actually build a technology. So we made a patented technology on our sole that actually expands 3 sizes with the wearer's feet as they grow every single day.
Okay.
Like you said on adoption, I think having sold 4 lakh pairs, there's so much customer love that we've gotten and, on our feedback on the product, and how kids like to pick the shoe out of their rack every day because every time they put them on, it fits them perfectly.
Correct. All right.
And that has been very resonating.
Okay, Satyajit, you've raised capital, like I mentioned earlier, from Peak 15 Surge and Veltis Capital, and the business now has crossed 60 crore rupees in ARR. If you could walk us through the growth strategy, what are your current business metrics, revenue growth, repeat purchases, and of course, profitability?
So, like I said, the journey really started from one insight and years of R&D. We started in 2020, and it took us 2 years to patent this technology and get this. This was the first time it was ever made in the world.
Yes.
2022, we started humble beginnings. We started online first, validated the demand. We saw how people were willing to pay for something like this, and this actually grew with the kids as they grow, right? And once we got that, we wanted to start with our first store in 2023. And today we have yesterday we launched 2 outlets. Overall, we have about 70 plus retail touchpoints now. The business, like you said, is 60 crore ARR, and with a base of about 4 lakh kids wearing Aretto shoes today. We've looked at repeat rates over 25%.
Okay.
Customer love was something that we really focused on and what we were solving for. On scaling this, we've seen that as we've penetrated the online space and we've started opening stores, we've seen that has compounded really well for us.
Okay.
We start seeing demand across cities, and we start pointing out stores and opening stores in those cities and go deeper there.
That brings me to my next question. You started as a digital first brand, but then aggressively expanded offline. Today, online and retail contribute almost equally to the business. You've sold over 4 lakh pairs, operate across 25 plus cities, and are targeting, I believe, 100 retail touch points. Are tier 2 and tier 3 cities, Satyajit, becoming a larger market for premium kids brands?
Absolutely. So, we started seeing that online where we used to see demand from Kanpur, we used to see demand from Raipur, from Aurangabad. And, we took a punt very early on to open some outlets in those towns. And they do phenomenally well for us. So we feel that parents across the globe, not only in India or tier 2, do the best for their child. And their demand for quality-driven products which solve an actual problem does exist. So I feel going ahead, it's going to be bigger and bigger.
Understood. And you know, the kids' footwear market is crowded with global brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, and Skechers, alongside strong domestic players. Beyond the expandable sole, what creates a lasting moat for Aretto, and how important is domestic manufacturing to your competitive advantage?
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, a patent buys you time, right? But the real moat is created by distribution and brand. So what we've understood is, have we understood the problems of the parents and of our users, right? And we kind of created a moat there where we could give a very differentiated offering that the parents were looking for, and the kids feeling comfortable in our shoes, right?
Yeah.
Talking about being in India, I think this is the best time to be in India for a company like us. India is the second largest producer of footwear in the world. And, you know, no Indian brand has really created consumer patented products
Yes.
out of India. And we've had the opportunity to be closer to domestic manufacturing. I'm sitting in my R&D center right now. I have 3D printing
Okay.
lab behind me.
Yeah.
And we could match this with the manufacturing prowess that India has and merge the two together. And that's been really, really fast for us
Okay.
because we've been able to move fast and build products faster, get the
Absolutely.
product feedback loop faster, iterate faster, and deliver faster to the consumer.
Noted. And speaking of being fast, you're targeting 100 crore rupees plus ARR by the end of FY26. What gets you there? More stores, new product categories, international expansion, or is there a broader technology platform that you're building beyond children's footwear?
So, firstly, we're not a kids footwear company. I'd like to
Yeah.
recall. We're a technology company. It started out in the kids domain, and with our patent being a utility patent across the globe, it acts like a platform to build off other product lines. I can't disclose those product lines here, but number one, like you rightly said, distribution is growing. We're expanding stores across multiple cities. We're going to reach more than 100 touch points this year. That's going to be one lever. Second is we're also increasing the size range of our product. So we've primarily catered 70% of our business between 1 to 6, but we're also launching, in fact, next month from 6 to 10, a dedicated line of shoes that goes out. And the third and the foremost is the platform. So we are actually looking at 2026, 27, 28 of how can we solve problems that have not been looked at, right? That really scales us up. I think from international business point of view, it's too early. We are first going to be very humble and validate ourselves in international markets because every market is different. So I'm not adding it to this year's revenue, but definitely
Okay.
next year we're gonna count that in.
All right, one final question. You know, before Aretto, Satyajit, you built SquatEase, redesigning the Indian squat toilet. Now you have reinvented children's shoes. Now, both ventures started with everyday problems most people simply accepted. What's the next obvious problem you would love to solve?
I'll be honest right now, my hands, legs, head, we're all deep in Aretto.
Yeah.
And I think there is so much that has not been explored in the footwear space. And people have to live with, oh, has to be that way, right? I think we look at those problems and try to solve them more in detail. And we have identified a few that you
And
would see from us very soon. Oh, has to be that way, right? I think we look at those problems and try to solve them more in detail. And we have identified a few that you would see from us very soon.
okay, we'll keep a track of that. But before I let you go, very quickly, how competitively have you priced the product?
So if you look at all the large brands, right, the ones you named, right, we are very competitive with that pricing, offering a much better proposition than any of those. If you look at the imported or what I said non-branded market, we're definitely a premium. But from a lens of any global brand, we've been super competitive, actually been slightly below, if not more.
Well, on that note, it's time for me to wrap up our conversation. Many thanks, Satyajit, for joining us on Startup Street, and all the very best with your growth plans.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
With that, it's a wrap on Startup Street. Many thanks for watching. News continues right here on CNBC TV 18. Stay tuned.